All right, good morning, everyone. Today is June 24th, 2020. This is a regular meeting of the members of the State Liquor Authority. Present today in Albany is Chairman Bradley. By phone, we have Commissioner Ford and also Commissioner Fan. Could you both just acknowledge that you're there for the record, please?
Hi, Commissioner Fan is here.
Commissioner Ford is here as well.
Great. Also in attendance, we have Deputy Commissioner of Licensing Roberts, Counsel to the Authority Meyerhoff, and myself, Secretary to the Authority Donahue. The next meetings of the Authority, this could be a 3-week break before our next meeting, which is on July 15th. Then we have July 29th, then another 3-week break until August 19th, and then September 2nd. So those are the meetings for the rest of the summer. Before we get started with the items, we'll call in the order they are posted on the calendar. Chairman Bradley, do you have anything?
Yeah, I just want to add that we're starting late because we had a computer issue trying to get on the service that records the meeting. So we're sorry that we're about 25 minutes late, but we're going to get going as quickly as we can. And I also, I know Adam Roberts has something he wants to say about the New York office and the licensing bureau there.
Thanks, Chairman. So starting next Monday, June 29th, we're going to begin reopening our New York City office for Zone 1. Typically, our window there has been used to conduct transactions and for representatives, applicants to get information from our folks. I just want to make sure that we're all clear that in order to come up to the service window in Zone 1, you will need to first make an appointment to do so for health and safety reasons. Additionally, if you are to make an appointment, it is not to conduct transactions, to pick up licenses or those kinds of activities. Scheduling appointments, you'll only be allowed to drop off documents. Nothing will be processed. Typically, people have stayed in the office waiting for things to be conducted and licenses to be issued or permits to be issued. That will no longer be the case. If you make a scheduled appointment to stop into our office, you will only be permitted to drop things off for health and safety reasons.
So, and just to clarify that there, I know it's been practiced over the years to pick up temporary licenses, to pick up licenses, the certificates themselves. That will no longer be permitted. You're going to have to receive them by mail or by temps or email, correct? The temps will be by email, but we're not allowing people up for obvious reasons, at least currently, due to the public health crisis. And whenever you're ready, Tom.
Okay, then, we'll start with the first item, which is 734 Caribbean Paradise Deli and Grocery, Inc.
And for the record, actually the first 3 items are all the same licensee.
Yes.
I will vote cancel and bond on all 3 items.
If you could take just each one, are you combining all 3 to one penalty?
We should say on the
Yes,
record.
is that okay? Or I think that makes sense.
If you want. So items 730, as council noted, items 735 and 736 are also charged against the same licensee. You can either impose separate penalties, or if you want to, you can combine them and we can impose one penalty.
So, and before you do that, we're going to do, it sounds like we're going to do one penalty for all 3. But before you do that, I just want to go through the charges. 734 is an improper conduct, untaxed cigarette. It's a straight no contest plea. 735 is an improper conduct, again, untaxed cigarettes.
We can't then combine them.
Why?
Because since that one is just a no contest plea, the other ones are defaults. You can combine 35 and 36. 734 has to be done separately.
All right, well, so 735 is an improper conduct, untaxed cigarettes, as well as another charge of improper conduct. And 736 is an availing charge, also a gambling device charge.
Yeah, because if there's a challenge to the default, then we don't want to impinge on the first.
So why don't we'll rule on the first one, commissioners, and then we'll take the other 2 together.
Okay. Yeah, but I don't want to put a numerical
No, go ahead. You can impose that. You can impose what you were going to impose on 734, and we can do the rest of them for the record.
Okay, I will do cancel and bond on 734 then.
Commissioner Ford?
I would do cancel and bond as well for 734.
Cancel and bond.
And then for 735, it's the same licensee. And so, want to do 736 together then?
Yes.
All right. So 735, 736 against Caribbean Paradise Deli and Grocery Inc.
And it would be cancel for the record on those two.
Commissioner Ford?
Cancel for the record as well. Why? Because you've already claimed the bond on the first one,
Yes,
so it wouldn't be one?
that's correct.
Okay, all right. Cancel for the record.
Cancel for the record.
Next item, 737, A&B Restaurant Group, LLC.
This is 9 conditional no contest, 9 charges of failure to comply with the health regulations. It offers $1,000.
I'm at 1,000.
Commissioner Ford?
That's the offer.
That's the offer. This was last August, approaching a year ago. So, and they've been in business, since 2006, and no real adverse history, so I'll accept 1,000 as well.
I'll accept.
Next item, 738, Unique News, Inc.
This is after hearing sale to intoxicated person, which the ALJ dismissed. And that's it. 1 charge.
I'm at dismiss.
Commissioner Ford?
I'm definitely at dismiss. Oh, well, as well. Mr. Rowland, he stole the beer, so dismiss.
Chairman Bradley?
I'm not reluctant to dismiss. Dismiss.
Next item is 739, Gary Cole. I will note that yesterday, I believe, I was contacted by the attorney for the licensee. The controversion was due on May 25th. The item was added to the calendar on June 4th. Once we add it to the calendar, we don't go back to see if anything was submitted. He submitted his controversion on June 10th.
Wait, say that again to me.
On May 5th, we sent out the ALJ report
Right.
by email to the licensee's attorney
Right.
with giving the standard 20 days to respond.
Right.
There was no response, so Hearing Bureau on June 4th added this matter to the full board calendar. So at that time, it was reviewed from the calendar. We don't go back and look to see if anything happened after that. On June 10th, so roughly 2 weeks after it was due, the attorney submitted his controversion. He's contacted me. He wants the matter held over. We didn't give it to you because it was late. He wants it held over so you can have that controversy to review. He indicated.
And it was late because it didn't get in within the 20 days.
Right.
It actually came in 30 days.
No, it came in more like 35 days. But he indicated he didn't see the email with the initial ALJ report.
I'll leave it up to them. Yeah, I know how I feel.
Right, so,
They can.
Commissioner Fan, do you want to grant the licensee's request to have this matter held over so you can have the controversy?
I'll wait for it.
Okay.
Commissioner Ford.
That's enough. It doesn't matter.
Well,
Yes, put it over.
I still have to get.
No, as long as I'm voting for it. As long as one of us needs it, then it's fine. What's the date?
Just for the record, I need Commissioner Ford.
No, because
I was for finding him, but I'll put it over as well.
Okay.
To what date? To 6? To 7?
7/15. 7/15.
15.
July 15th.
and we should hold on to this.
Yes.
Well, you're not going to get any more papers.
No, you'll get the controversy. Yeah.
No, but he's right.
No,
We're
yeah.
not going to get the paper anyway.
Hopefully not. 740. Paz Cafe Ltd.
This is 2 charges after hearing. The ALJ sustained charge 1, the focal point for police attention. and dismiss the failure to supervise. This is a very old license from 1995. So sustain 1, dismiss 2.
And the one and only hearing conducted by Bruce Wayside.
Commissioner Fan.
I am at 5,000.
Commissioner Ford.
103 calls for service, 90 911 calls for service, 9 aided cases requiring police emergency response, and 4 criminal court summonses issued. So they've been there since 1995. I guess I'll go with Commissioner Fan's 5,000.
5,000.
Next item, 741, Queen's Gourmet Deli Corp.
2 charges after hearing. 1 is improper conduct. 2 is failure to notify. Both charges are sustained.
And there's been no confirmation. There's been no confirmation of the dismissal disposition, has there? So nothing's been received. So we never received final confirmation of a
Well,
from King's Criminal Court.
whether we have or haven't, subsequently was not in the hearing report, so it's not before you.
The violation is for failure to notify us of the arrest. I'm sure we would like to also know about whether he's a felon.
But that's a different charge.
Separate issue.
Right.
Which may be resolved shortly. So, Commissioner Fan,
I'm at 2,500.
Commissioner Ford,
I was at 3,000.
Chairman Bradley.
3,000.
Next item, 742, Grange Tavern LLC.
2 charges.
Hold on. This one is it ended up on the calendar, but counsel's office amended the pleading, and it's still sitting with the ALJ to have a new opinion written.
It's not, though, because he doesn't have email right now, so he never got it. That's something you didn't know, and I didn't realize at the time. He never received, so...
Well,
So you
counsel's
want it?
office is asking that this not be heard by the board and be sent back for further proceedings in front of the ALJ.
All right, send it back.
Commissioner Fan,
Yes, that's fine.
Commissioner Ford?
Send it back. Do I need to keep this, or will we get new
No,
paperwork
no,
on it?
No, you can get rid of it.
No, we're hoping there'll be a new opinion.
Okay.
Next item, 743, Shar Restaurant, Inc.
This is a conditional no contest. 2 charges: failure to comply with local regulations and a failure to supervise. The offer is 3,500.
I'll accept 3,500.
I'll accept as well.
Chairman Bradley.
Accept.
Next item, 744, Snappy Sips, Inc.
It's a new package store in Monroe County. 924 square feet total. 395 of that will be retail. Manager with 1 employee. The owner will be active from 5 to 11 p.m. The owner has no experience. This location was previously licensed. The previous package store closed in February of 2019.
Bulletproof.
Oh, and it is bulletproof, right?
Commissioner
Was
Fan?
the store that was there before, was that bulletproof as well?
That I don't know.
Good question.
Oh, and there are no protests. Adam, you looking that up?
I'm looking up to see if the prior was bulletproof.
2 of the 4 stores within 1.2 miles are also bulletproof.
was looking to see why the previous store, why it closed after 9 years.
It wasn't because of us. Although there are some
Okay.
charges at the premise, but nothing.
It was
All
not
right.
canceled.
Nothing.
Okay, that's what
Lot,
that's what I wanted to know.
lot of
All right,
open after hours.
all right, I'm good. Adam, you don't need to go any further.
Okay.
So we're all set, Commissioner Fan?
Yes.
Can this be right?
Even though this is a bulletproof store, it's very small. Is an applicant that I hope to support, and so I will vote to approve.
Commissioner Ford?
It's replacing a store that was there before, so I vote to approve as well.
Chairman Bradley?
I'm going to vote to approve. Really, the only reason I'm voting to approve is because the liquor stores surrounding it did not respond to our gross sales letter, and it was previously a licensed liquor store, so they obviously they aren't interested or aren't worried about adding another one, so I'll replace it.
Next item, 745, Lady Stardust
The location
LLC.
had been licensed prior, but there was something between
Oh,
17
it's
and 19.
Was it a new license, though, or was it
No,
just a
transfer
Oh,
in
okay.
19.
What is this, Tom? 745?
745, Lady Stardust LLC.
So this is a Brooklyn package store. 5 of the 7 closest stores are bulletproof. It was not previously licensed. The applicant was previously an owner of a restaurant wine license, which is not actually disclosed on the application. And there are 7 stores within 0.5 miles. The principal will work at the stores 12 hours a week and keep a regular employment for the city of New York.
And there was a non-bulletproof store opened in 2018.
Do we have-
one of the closest?
Right. Do we have a square footage in this? We didn't get that. Oh, I'm sorry, we do. So the total space is 250 square feet, and 231 of it approximately will be devoted to retail. That's an odd measurement.
Small footprint.
And it's not bulletproof.
Correct.
Okay.
Commissioner Fan?
It's a very small store. There's a store that's very close by, though, just 2 blocks away, so I'm going to vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford?
Although the location was previously licensed and closed in 2013, but since then, Pacific Liquor Store opened in 2018. Looking at the other stores, they seem to be holding their own, not really rising. So I'm not sure I see the need for even a small store such as this, albeit it is like the size of a closet. But there are 7 stores within half a mile of us. So I'm going to vote to deny as well.
And just to correct the record, this location was not previously licensed.
It was not a liquor store. It was a restaurant wine license in 2013.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
So this would be right.
Yeah, I'm going to vote to deny as well. There's 7 stores within 0.5 miles, and even though this is a very small store, the sales of the other stores are flat for the most part.
The applicant had a wine license.
Yeah, this was never licensed.
This was never licensed.
Right.
Yeah.
Also true.
Sorry,
So
my mistake.
that's all right. The closest store is 640 feet away, or approximately 640 feet away, and as I said, there's 7 stores in 0.5 miles. I just don't see that another store within a 5-minute walk is needed at this time.
746, Blue Wine and Spirits, Inc.
There's a Bronx a New Bronx package store, 460 square feet, 350 square feet are residential. It will not be bulletproof. There's one protest. The principle is to manage. There are 7 stores within 0.8 miles. The principal will not continue her present employment as a assistant teacher.
Commissioner Fan,
Did I say there's a protest?
Yes, you said there was a single protest.
All the surrounding stores are doing lowering numbers, so while I want to support this applicant, I don't see a reason to put a store here since that it's a hilly driving community in that area. So I'm going to vote to deny, but you should probably look for new locations to do this.
Commissioner Ford,
Is this the same thing?
Commissioner Ford,
Can't be licensed since 2017.
Sorry, I was talking to mute. I'm going to vote to deny as well. There's 7 stores within, what did I say, 0.8 miles, as the chairman said. And most of their numbers seem to be just flat, not really going up. So, except for one possibly. So I'm going to vote to deny it. I don't see the need.
There's no other liquor store there prior.
Then how do we have 2016 sales?
I think they may have been under a temporary. No, they couldn't have been. I don't know. When I looked, the license was issued in 2017. I don't know how they're sending out sales for 2016.
Well, then send enforcement out, unless the years are wrong.
You could have put it in the wrong spot. Look at the gross.
Oh, they are wrong. Because the last year is $4 million as of 5/7/20. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. So the closest store was just licensed in 2017, and while it's obviously a larger store, particularly for the Bronx, and its sales have gone up, the surrounding store sales have clearly gone down and suffered as a result of adding that new store. I just don't see the need for another store. As Commissioner Ford pointed out, there's 7 stores within 0.8 miles. And while this is a small store, the area seems to be surrounded by liquor stores.
All right, the next item, 747, Mucho Loco 2 Deli.
This is a grocery store beer license. The applicant was disapproved within 2 years at this location for not disclosing a previous felony arrest. He does have, is it he, right? He does have grocery store beer licenses now with very little adverse history. That's really about it.
And he has provided the disposition of felony arrest with this application as well.
Correct.
Correct.
I didn't see.
Yes. Even though this licensee has one untaxed cigarette history, I will vote to approve, but remind him that that's the really this offense now. So.
Commissioner Ford,
I vote to approve as well.
Chairman Brett.
I'll approve.
Next item, 748, Space Lounge Inc.
This is a Suffolk County new on-premises license. Has an outdoor area for 20. The place has a bad adverse history. The principal has no experience. The manager has no license experience. It's going to be a bar, tavern, 5 employees, recorded music only, and it appears that they will use security personnel at various times. The town objects to granting this license. They indicate that the building is not zoned for a bar or tavern. However, it was previously licensed as a bar or tavern. And I don't think the zoning has changed, so.
And the applicant says that they're happy to have their right to be there as a condition,
Which it would be anyway.
which it would be anyway.
It'd have to be.
Commissioner Fan,
will vote to approve this application with the condition that the zoning disagreement gets picked up, obviously in favor of the licensee. I will approve this license for 2 a.m. across the board, recorded music only, no dancing, manager as needed, security staff needed.
So that's what's being proposed. So you're just approving it as proposed then, with the 2 a.m.
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
Commissioner Ford,
Supplemental letter says the town will provide if the license is approved. So I guess who's going to blink first? Do we provide approval with the condition that the town provide the necessary zoning approvals?
Yeah,
If that's the case.
Yes, Commissioner Ford, we can make that a condition of approval, so the license would never be issued until we get that letter approving the zoning.
And so if that's the case, then I will vote to approve.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll vote to approve on the same ground.
On with 2 a.m.
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Ford, you good with 2 a.m. as well?
Yes.
Can we take 2 minutes?
We're going to take a brief recess.
Okay.
All right, we are back on the record after a brief recess. The next item is 749 La Hookah Gayaka Corp. Probably butchered that name.
Yeah, you did. This is a new Queens on premises. Former owner is the landlord and friend of this applicant. The past license here was canceled for sale to minors. They had 3 in less than a year. There are no protests. It's a bar tavern with 5 employees, principal and managed. Recorded music, DJ, jukebox, karaoke, live music, 1 to 2 security guards. The principal has no experience but will manage the place. Hours are 1 p.m. to 1 a.m. every night.
While
I might be, hold on, I think I got it from, it might be the chef is on duty there. Hold
No,
on.
that's the chef. That
I might have the hours wrong. It might be when they stop serving food at 1, which they should never stop serving food. So.
Then you have the hours right. Or maybe he just stops cooking and they continue to serve the food.
Cold.
no, that is when the chef.
That's the chef will be on premise.
They did not give us any hours.
Well, so that is the hours. Because if the chef's leaving, the place should be closed. Or somebody should be cooking. Because it's a bar tavern. Although the menu is pretty extensive. Okay, any questions?
That would be to 1 a.m.
If you want, if that's what
That's
you're
what
going
it's
to impose.
Yeah, the hours are open-ended as far as when they want to close. They haven't indicated. So they're saying the chef is leaving at 1.
Commissioner Fan?
just give me one moment. Sorry.
No problem.
Yeah, so the prior licensee is still the landlord here. All the financials are reflecting that he is $6,000 a month, and this applicant has no experience at all. They claim for this to be a restaurant, but if you look at all the requests, it's really not going to be a restaurant at all. If you look at all these different elements that's requested.
They've applied as a tavern.
Oh yeah, but if you look at the affidavit that was written, you know, it claims to be a restaurant. So I will vote for deny.
Commissioner Ford?
The community board had no objection as long as they provide copies of the proper documents, C of O, from the DOB letter of no objection, so forth and so on. So I'm not sure if there's other community board stipulations. I didn't see those.
There are no stipulations.
Okay. All right. Other than what the community board has said in their letter of December 16th, 2019.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So as long as they meet those, I suppose, and the hours are what the chef says, 1, 8, 11, what was it?
1 p.m.
1 p.m. until 1 a.m. If they want to change that, they're going to have to amend that. But I'm willing to vote to approve.
With a 1 a.m. closing time?
Yeah, whatever their chef is going to be there.
Okay.
If they say 1 a.m., then 1 a.m. it is.
1 a.m. across
They can
the
always
board.
change it later.
Did
Yes.
we get, I don't have the letter from the community board.
It's in your package, just one page.
Single fronted page.
Where?
It's right after the disciplinary, the agenda sheet.
Oh, I got it. Okay, I got it.
And that's the only reason I'm voting to approve is because the community board didn't have an objection to it.
Because of the history here, and she has no experience, and Commissioner Fan's right, that she applied as a bar tavern, but she told us in her statement, which is not a affidavit or affirmation, it's been indicated by the attorney. She indicated in her statement that she plans on being a restaurant, so I'll vote to approve, but there's no DJ, no karaoke, no live music. Shuts at 1, and there's no use of promoters. So, recorded music only.
And no dancing.
No dancing.
So, Commissioner Fan rather. Commissioner Ford, are you okay with those conditions added by the Chairman Bradley?
Yes.
Okay. Next is 750, 116 Liquor and Wine.
This is a Broome County liquor store, 1,931 square feet. 956 of it will be retail. The place was a previously licensed on-premise license, not a liquor store. The principal will manage with 3 employees. There is 1 protest. There's 6 stores within 2 miles. The closest store is 0.5 miles away. And it will not be bulletproof. And none of the surrounding stores are bulletproof either.
Commissioner Fan.
The applicant committed to selling 15% of New York state-made products and have daily New York State wine tasting, and also offer a members club to his customers. He lives 4 minutes from the store. The closest store is doing not protecting. Because of that, I'm supposed to approve.
She broke up there. You said the closest store what?
The closest store is doing decently well, but also did not protest, and so
Okay.
I will vote to approve.
Okay.
Are you approving with any conditions on it?
Yes, please.
What they offered, basically. Right? You're approving what they've offered in their public interest statement?
Yes.
Which is 4 things: New York product line of 15%, daily New York State wine tastings, members club, select ordering 4 members, and then seasonal gift baskets of assorted wines and spirits with all accessories.
Commissioner Ford.
The location was previously licensed, 2010 to 2018. Actually, prior to the establishment of the closest store, which is filed a protest.
It was not a store, though. It was licensed as a bar or restaurant.
Oh, bar, restaurant. That's the second time I've done that today. Okay. But still, it's on the other side of the railroad tracks. It's an entirely different cluster of neighborhoods, and I think it would definitely serve public convenience and advantage, so I vote to approve.
Chairman Bradley.
I'm going to vote to approve as well. The closest store is doing a significant number of sales, well over 1.5 million at this point, and did not protest. 2 of the 4 closest didn't seem interested enough in sending their sales results. So I'm going to vote. So we don't know what their situation is. And the closest store, obviously, as I said, is the sales are increasing over the last 4 years pretty substantially. So I'm going to vote to approve with the same conditions that Commissioner Fan indicated.
Next item, 751, 52, 53, 54. Paz Pizza and Restaurant, Inc.
So this is a conditional no contest to 4 proceedings involving 20 different charges in all, most of which were failure to comply or sale to intoxicated persons. The offer is $25,000.
I will, given the repetition and the close, the dates here that are all in May, it seems like they were visited 3 times in 3 weeks. I'm sure for reasons but it looks like the charges were all sort of duplicative of each other, and so I will be willing to go down to $20,000.
Commissioner Ford? Commissioner Ford, do we have you?
Sorry, I was muted again. The attorney's letter states that remediations to charges were implemented on a case-by-case basis. So I'd be willing to go to $20,000 as well, as Commissioner Fan has suggested.
Chairman Bradley?
Were they ever charged with? Yeah, I'll go. I mean, because it's already decided. I'll go down to 20,000. But my fear is here. If they kept visiting the place, they would have kept finding the same issues. There's a reason I think that they kept visiting, but given the financial situation everyone's in, I'll go down to 20.
Next item, 755, Saturnia Inc.
This is a no contest default, 3 charges, disorderly premise, focal point for police attention, and failure to supervise. A triumvirate. The hat trick, we call that.
Commissioner Fan?
There was a shooting at the scene.
Inside.
Due to evidence of live rounds going off within the establishment, I am at cancel and bond.
Commissioner Ford?
Is this place authorized for security? Curious.
Took a look for you. So when this establishment was licensed, that wasn't a question that we had asked back in 2001.
Well,
Okay.
and the write-ups indicates there were 3 security guards on duty from Herd Protection Services. So they did have security there. Whether they were allowed to or not, I don't know.
Doesn't seem like they did a really good job.
They apparently saw nothing, which was not surprising to me.
Commissioner Ford?
Yeah, I'm at cancel and bond as well.
Chairman Bradley?
Cancel.
Next item, 756, 351, Habibi Deli Grocery, LLC.
This is a no contest default of 2 charges: a failure to notify change in fact and improper conduct conviction of a member of a corporation.
Commissioner Fan?
This is a default. I am at 2,000.
Commissioner Ford?
I'm at no response, cancel and bond.
That's where I'm at too for the same
All right.
reason.
Next item, 757, Mashallah Deli Corp.
No contest default for availing.
I'm at cancel and bond.
Commissioner Ford?
As am I.
Chairman Bradley?
Cancel and bond.
Next item, 758, Steel Bar 180.
No contest default of a non-bona fide.
Commissioner Fan?
Not open.
Correct.
It's in safekeeping right now, though.
I'm at cancel and bond.
Wait a minute.
Cancel and bond.
I don't think it matters, Tom.
Oh, no, I was checking the safe. It was the safekeeping requirement, that's why.
Yeah, I'm at cancel and bond as well.
All right. Next item is 759, Cancun and Cancun Corp.
No contest default, 2 charges, prohibited hours of sale, and a failure to comply. Did we charge the right charges? Prohibited hours of sale. We should have had prohibited. What would be the alternative? All they saw is people with cups with beer.
Well, based on what's in the memo, would be consumption.
You could have prohibited hours of consumption
Right.
instead.
Yeah, although I don't think he saw anybody consume either. Well, at least from the memo. But okay, it's no contest to fault at any rate.
Commissioner Fan,
I'm at 5,000.
Commissioner Ford,
As was just stated, we didn't see anybody consuming. We just saw a cup in front of someone and said it was beer. The waitress is clearing 3 to 4 cups. That was 3 hours after they're supposed to be closed.
Well, let me. Can I just clarify something for the record? I mean,
Please.
we have not had a hearing in this case.
Correct.
All we have, I believe, in the record would be police reports, or perhaps an investigator's report. But it's not clear exactly what was observed. It's possible that there would be testimony that was more compelling about the charge, and there's a default.
Yeah, this is a summary. What you're reading is a summary written by the attorney based on what they have on paper. They haven't even spoken to the cop yet.
Okay. They just been open. They were open a year before they were actually closed because of COVID-19, and this happened on 2/15, just before this started. I don't know. I think 5,000 is a little bit hard. Maybe I would go 3,000.
Chairman Bradley.
5,000.
Next item.
5,000 it is.
Are you changing your vote, Commissioner, or are you staying with your?
No, I'm going to stay with 3,000.
All right. Next item is 760, Principicia Soho LLC.
This is a no contest to fault, failure to notify change in fact, and improper conduct, conviction of a partnership. I'm assuming, based on the fact that the owner lost his law license, that there was a conviction.
I don't know that that's necessarily true. What I do know is that if he was arrested in 2014, there's probably a disposition already.
Right, definitely.
We just don't know what it is.
The attorney for the licensee sent in a letter taking blame for the default, saying that for some reason he did not get it, and he's just asking that they're currently in expired status. We have a renewal currently pending with the authority, and they
Can we go off the record for a second?
Here. So it was. So they're in expired status. They have a renewal pending. Currently, the person that was arrested was a non-active participant in the restaurant that they've been trying to get off the license for a period of time, and they have not been able to do that because of this charge, which they were not aware of until they did that. Is that all accurate?
From what's being represented to me in the conversation,
Yes.
the attorney, yes.
Okay.
Commissioner Fan?
I'm at 2,000.
Commissioner Ford?
I'll go with 2,000. I read the letter as well. I'll give 2,000.
Chairman Bradley?
2,000.
Next item is 761, Los Lazaros, Inc.
This is a no contest default from someone we're very familiar with, Mr. Kukaj. He's got 9 charges for a variety of different offenses, 2 of which are non-bona fide, 1 of which is availing.
Well,
Which
just
seems to be
to
his.
clarify, the licensee is Los Luzardos, not Mr. Kukach. Mr. Kukach ended up in the licensed premise, signed a lease with the landlord, and then Los Luzardos, which had been out of business for several years, somehow decided to renew its license with Mr. Kukach in there and supplied a falsified lease to do so. So the charges against the licensee that abandoned the premises years earlier and had apparently entered into some kind of deal with Kukach to give him the space. And the landlord certainly knew that Mr. Kukach was in there because The landlord signed a lease with him. But he's now out. And so the charges are against Los Luzardos, and they did not even respond to the plea. They defaulted.
So on that revoke and bond with a 2-year prescription, because I agree with counsel that the landlord was implicit or complicit in what went on here.
Commissioner Fan,
Yes, revoke and bond.
Commissioner Ford, Commissioner Ford,
Yeah, with the falsified lease and renewal application, without a doubt, revoke and bond with prescription for 2 years.
Okay, next item 762, Dr. Cheeto NY Corp.
This is a no contest of fault for one charge of non-bona fide. The license expired in March of 2020, and apparently the corporation has ceased to exist.
And
The place is closed.
Commissioner Fan,
I'm a cancel and bond.
Commissioner Ford,
Cancel and bond.
Kevin Bradley.
Cancel and bond.
Next item 763, 671, Big Apple Gourmet Corp.
Somebody was busy with these. Buckley, this is no contest of fault again. 2 charges: improper conduct of a conviction of corporation, failure to notify change in fact. The licensee was arrested for
Selling
unstamped cigarettes, selling unstamped cigarettes, Class E felony.
and possession of a forged instrument.
Which is what, the stamp?
I suppose. And it looks like his arrest is going to be an ACD, although it's not been decided yet, right? Is that what they said?
No, it was decided.
Oh, it was decided. So,
In fact, he just got off.
so he's not convicted.
Commissioner Fan,
I'm at 2,000.
Commissioner Ford,
I'll accept 2,000 as well.
Should we dismiss the conviction?
well, you don't think, are you opposing it or
Yeah.
is it not? All right. Kevin,
I meant to say imposing it,
We
yes.
dismiss the conviction charge just because we know for a fact he's not convicted.
well, no, it's not.
That's
It's
not
the-
what. That's just the way the charge is
It's the
phrased.
it's how it shows up in compliance. The charge itself is the conduct leading to the arrest for the
All
conviction.
right, so it's fine.
Yes.
2,000.
I think I might have changed that title.
I think you did, you have to.
I think I might have changed that title in the revision. And if I didn't, I will now.
Next item 764, IC Food and Beverage LLC and City Hall Presents LLC.
This is a conditional no contest. 2 charges: failure to notify a change in fact and improper conduct is the second charge.
And the charge.
I will accept 1,000.
I was just going to say the charge is a misdemeanor, not a felony.
1,000 accept.
1,000.
Next item 765, B&H Liquor and Wine Inc.
Conditional no contest, improper conduct, failure to notify change in fact. The offer is $1,000.
Also a misdemeanor.
Commissioner
I
Fan,
will accept 1,000.
Commissioner Ford,
1,000 accept.
Kevin Brad.
Accept.
Next item 766, El Duo Deli and Grocery Inc.
This is a new grocery store beer license in the Bronx. The prior licensee here was canceled because this applicant was availing the license in February of 2019. He is now applying for his own.
I'm going to vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford,
I think I'm going to vote to deny as well.
Kevin Brad.
Deny.
Next item 767, 575 Convenience Store Inc.
This is a new Chautauqua package store. How big is this, Adam? Do you know? They're taking a part of their beer store, sectioning it off apparently, and turning it into a liquor store. There's no protest. It's a store with 2 employees, and a manager. Applicant has sales to minor charges in his history, but only 4 over 7 years. There's 4 stores within 2.9 miles.
So there seems to be some inconsistency about the size of this location. The establishment questionnaire states the premises is 340 square feet. However, there also is another section of the premises that describes it as a 1,190 square foot space with 1,100 square feet of retail sales. The diagram only shows 864 square feet. Excuse me.
So there's three different
So there's actually
numbers. So should we pick the one in the middle, or?
That's the biggest one. No.
So if the square footage is a concern of the members, we can certainly clarify this one, or if you're comfortable making a decision as is, we can clarify what the final space is going to be for the record.
I'm going to go with the diagram.
Which is the 864.
864 square feet.
15 feet by 57.6.
Commissioner Fan?
With no protest on the record and the closest store being a mega store and all the other stores doing decently well, I will vote to approve.
Approving based on the size of the store shown in the diagram, or one of the other sizes?
The diagrams show about 875 square feet. The establishment questionnaire indicates it's about 1,200 square feet with 1,100 of it devoted to retail.
I would do the 1,100 with retail. I don't think it's a huge difference.
Commissioner Ford?
The closest store is in Lakewood, which isn't Jamestown. It's further west in Lakewood. And so I'm kind of surprised that there isn't, I'm looking at the closest stores, I'm surprised that there isn't one in West Jamestown or South Jamestown. So I think the store would definitely serve public convenience and advantage, but I would require them to have a scanner.
Commissioner Ford, the three closest stores are all in Jamestown.
Yeah, but they're in other areas of Jamestown.
He's familiar with
Completely
James.
different areas. I know upstate New York like the back of my hand. They're in completely different areas. This is actually Western New York. They would object to that, saying it's upstate. It's Western New York. So no, I vote to approve. Like I said, as long as they have a scanner.
What's the square footage?
What size are you approving?
I'm going to go with. I'll go with what Commissioner Fan was going to go with, but I would like to require that to be clarified with licensing.
We can do that.
Yeah, that's really what I want. I don't have an objection to it one way or the other. I just want it clarified so we're all on the same page. That's all.
Okay.
All right, so just so we're clear, that you just want to clarify. It doesn't matter which size it is.
No, he's assuming the largest size.
Yeah.
Yes, but
Commissioner
I'm
Fan,
saying let's verify that.
Commissioner Fan, you want the scanner too?
Yes, please.
Chairman Bradley?
I'll approve. The closest store is a very large store. It's got $4+ million in sales, and they're going up consistently. The other three stores are all over 2 miles away. So, based on Commissioner Ford's description, it sounds like this area could use a liquor store, and it's obviously not going to hurt the closest store. So there is public convenience and advantage. This square footage, I'll go with along with them, and the square footage and the scanner as well.
Next item, 768, Casa del Moqueja, Inc.
This is a new Staten Island restaurant wine. We revoked the prior license here and disapproved the last two applications. It's a restaurant. The principal has no experience and will manage with 2 employees. I don't know how that's even possible. No security recorded and jukebox music. I have never seen a restaurant with 3 people only. Told the CB he was opening, the community board, he was opening a sports bar open until 2 a.m. with karaoke and security on weekends, which is contradictory of what's in the application. The community board wants a 12 a.m. closing if we overrule their objection, because there are a part upstairs, but they would rather that we not grant the license.
And then the supplemental submission, the applicant agrees to close at midnight.
Commissioner Fan?
Yeah, I saw that.
You know, I don't know. I mean, the lawyer. It may be a mismanagement by the lawyer, but you know, he can't really file with us and then send a letter to the CB during the shutdown and expect to get a meeting with the community board. And so, you know, I actually am not really sure. I think this Bay Street area, it's a very heated and contested area between the community board and the business owners, and I'm going to vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford?
We've not had any response, but since from the community board since March. That's what you were just saying, right, Commissioner Fan? That's what you meant?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd be willing to approve with the 12 a.m. as the community board has stipulated, 7 days a week.
Chairman Bradley?
So this isn't a 500-foot case, so while the community board's input is certainly welcome and appreciated, it's not mandatory that we consider it. And since he's already agreed to what they asked for, which was 12 a.m., I don't see any good cause not to grant the license. So I'm going to vote to approve, although no promoters, they should have security guards on weekends like he's indicated to the community board, and there will be no karaoke, just recorded music.
What about the closing time?
12. And at least one security guard on the weekend.
Commissioner Ford, you're okay with those conditions?
Yes, sir.
All right, the next item is 769. I just want to know if there was, the note you have there indicates that the community board submitted a letter of no opposition, but for a different applicant,
Yeah.
and also that the applicant has agreed to stipulation to 2 a.m. I clarified that with the representative. There is no stipulation. They,
Why?
as represented by as stated by the representative, they met with the community board. They told the community board they were closing at 2 a.m., so there were no stipulations.
But why? Who met with the community board? This applicant or the previous applicant? Or the previous person that never did apply? Because that to me is...
I'm only going by what Mr. Veras told me.
Submitted in.
I have an email from her just yesterday. Hold on, just let me find it.
I mean, if this applicant did not go in front of the community board, I'm not granting the license.
Well, they did. I mean, they did provide the community board notice. All right, but what we don't have is
A letter from the community board. The community board letter that we do have indicates that a different licensee.
Yeah,
that's
a problem.
License for La Cucina di Mama Fu, DBA Mr. Mangu, was the community board letter that we received, not one for Jade Sushi and Bar
Right.
Incorporated.
and I'm just looking again for that. Here we go. Right. So the
Please read the email.
it says they never signed a stipulation with the community board, nor are there any restrictions in place because it's a RW and 2 a.m. closing. Actually, she never says in here that they actually met with the community board. It says that they were in the habit of that this community board does not give stipulations, and that the other letter, that application, at least before the community board, was withdrawn. They never actually filed a application with us.
I would also note that what the representative has now stated in the email to the secretary is contradicted by the quote-unquote affidavit that was submitted with the application, specifically point 8, which says, I have entered into a stipulation with Manhattan
Right,
Community Board
which is
12.
why that note is in your memo, because the rep didn't know where we were getting that information from.
Yes. The non-affidavit affidavit. But it is, in any event, a statement against interest by the applicant.
Not to mention that applicant, which we have no indication that this is true or not, indicates that she met with the licensing committee for Community Board 12 and had a positive resolution with this is point 18 of the same affidavit, closing hours 2 a.m.
I think Ms. Tavares' point is that, notwithstanding all that this community board doesn't issue a stipulation.
That may be, but why are you telling us they did? 1, 2, based on the community board's letter to us, there's no evidence that this applicant met with them. Because the letter it describes a different applicant who never applied. Yeah, I'm done.
Commissioner Fan.
There are just too many discrepancies. I can vote to deny, or I can vote to hold it over for 3 weeks and see if we can get some of these clarifications. But
Well, I sought to do that, and the rep said there is no stipulation.
all right, then I'll vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford.
I vote to deny as well. Just too many questions here.
Chairman Bradley.
I'm going to vote to deny too, and just we've already pointed out several contradictions within this application paperwork, and on top of that, the diagram contradicts the application as far as seating goes, and the number of seats and where they are, and the pictures do the same. So I'm going to vote to deny for cause. There's too many questions that remain unanswered.
Next item, 770, Winthrop Daily Grocery Inc.
This is a Kings County grocery store beer license. The principal manage 8 to 10 p.m., 2 employees. Previous license was canceled for availing and sales to minors. Oh, and sales while it was suspended. We already disapproved the availer, and he sold the store to the applicant. That person has loaned the applicant the money to buy the store.
And the applicant does not appear to have any experience in the business.
Correct.
Commissioner Fan.
Be there all day.
I'm
every day.
For lack of better judgment, I'm going to vote to approve.
Commissioner Ford.
I'm going to throw this one on the oh, what the hell pile, and I'll approve as well.
I'll approve. I mean, the guy's going to be there 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. every night.
Are you going to condition your approval?
On what?
Let's
Oh,
not.
no, I don't have a what the hell pile. I am going to approve.
All right, the next item is 771, Mates Global Ltd. I'd like to know that the Secretary's Office received a request for that it's meant to be held over. So on June 9th, we emailed the representative indicating the matter will be on today's calendar. On Monday, I think on Thursday, on the 18th, we received an email from the representative saying that due to COVID-19, I'm writing to you at this time to request an adjournment to the next full board meeting without prejudice to the applicant. I am unable to meet with my client and unable to retrieve my file from my office at this time, and that would enable me to supply supplemental information to the authority.
That was on what date?
That was on Thursday we got that. So roughly 9 days after they got notice of this, we got the email saying that the request is going to be held over. Secretary's Office has a policy now during this situation. We're not granting any adjournments.
No, they shouldn't. And if somebody is sick, with COVID-19, and that is one story. But just using COVID-19 as an excuse going forward, given the fact that most of this stuff is all being done by email, is not going to justify an adjournment.
All right, so
But I don't think they need one anyway. Okay.
so it looks like there's a discrepancy between the applicants and their experience when they went in front of the community board versus now, because there was a denial in between, and I don't believe when they resubmitted the stipulation application to Community Board 4 that they were very clear that the person with the experience ended up being taken out of the application because they have felony records. And that was already the first round when they came to the State Liquor Authority. And whoever was left on the application actually had zero experience, but they somehow fooled the community board to waive the 30-day notification period, and also actually got them to reissue the stipulations as they were before, as if there were still the applicants that have the experience. I don't know if I'm being clear right now, but for all of that, I think that there's some issue here. I'm going to vote to deny.
Where are you getting the information that the?
All right,
Go ahead.
here's the story. The initial application had 3 people on it: Mohibul, Chowdhury, and Matthew. Chowdhury and Matthew have criminal records.
Right.
On that basis, the application was denied.
Right.
The application was submitted with just Mohibul, who has no experience.
Right.
And he says in his application, the principal has numerous years of food and beverage experience, which is either a relic from the prior application or an admission that these people who are supposedly no longer involved are actually still involved. And it's not clear from the record whether they are. And what Commissioner Fan was saying is, it also appears that in the process of resubmitting, the community board wasn't informed that there was now nobody with experience involved, and somehow just carried forward its prior stipulations with the initial group.
Possibly with the assumption that the same principals were still involved in the corporation that would have
Right.
given them the experience to run an establishment.
Then Commissioner,
And it's not a 500-foot case.
no.
Okay.
So Commissioner Fan,
Yep.
She already
you're
denied.
denying it, right? Commissioner Ford,
I'm going to vote to deny it as well. It just seems odd that the paperwork still says experience when there clearly isn't any legitimately. So I vote to disapprove, to deny.
Chairman Bradley.
I was going to vote, or I do vote to approve with all of the community board stipulations in place. And no live music, no DJs, no promoters, and the closing hours that they asked for.
Next item 772, Jackson DX Corp.
This is a Bronx on-premises, new on-premises license. It seems to be open now without alcohol. It's a restaurant with 4 employees, no security. They hired a manager, and the principal will also manage. Recorded music only. The owner has past experience managing a restaurant, and I see no evidence that he was related to the former licensee who was canceled because of a veiling.
They're also seeking a waiver of the restrooms.
Yeah, and there appears to be some kind of discrepancy on the C of O, on the maximum occupancy.
Yeah. Is it 107 or is it 74?
It's probably 74 since most of them are, but that'll come in with the C of O, right?
Well, the C of O submitted by the applicant states that it's 107. So the issue that we're running into is that the certificate of occupancy states a number greater than 74. However, representatives and applicants are aware of our requirements for restroom waivers having to go to the members if it is over 74. So people are listing that their occupancy is less than that so that it can be acted on without going to the members. in
Well-
my opinion.
Oh, in your opinion.
That's just generally what's happening.
That's generally what is happening.
There's a conspiracy going on.
For some reason or not,
This
people
job
want
has
to get
jaded
closers.
you in the goodness of humans.
I think he's been hanging around me too long.
We all have.
Prior to
All right, go ahead.
Commissioner Fan?
This is a legit Mexican restaurant. This is the second location of what appears to become a family of restaurants or perhaps a chain. With the bathroom waiver, I guess I'm not going to make them spend the money to build a new bathroom at this time, and so I will limit occupancy, including staff, to 74 people, and until they, can or want to build a bathroom, they can then use the remainder, 33 bodies to get to 107. But right now, I'm going to vote to approve with the on-premise full liquor, but limit the capacity to 74 people, all inclusive.
Commissioner Ford? I know you're.
I
you're
couldn't have
also,
said it any.
You're waiving
Yes.
the restroom requirement, Commissioner Fan.
Yes.
I'm sorry, what?
Broken up a little bit.
Sorry, what'd you say?
I just want to confirm, you're waiving the restroom requirements.
Yes, I'm waiving it, but then limiting it to 74.
Okay.
I don't know how to put that.
All right, Commissioner Ford?
Everything that Commissioner Fan said, I approve.
Chairman Bradley?
What's DOH's take on the bathrooms?
I don't think we've got an official opinion on that, other than it's their requirement.
But they don't require two? It's their requirement that...
No, it's our physical standards that there is a bathroom for one bathroom for each sex.
Right. But what's DOH's standards?
I don't know.
I think they can have one.
DOH will let you have one bathroom.
Depending on the capacity. And in some situations, none if there's...
Do you know what that capacity is, or it's...
No.
Okay. All right, I'll approve under the same...
I'm guessing it's 74 because a lot of things on the New York City Code revolve around 74.
on the same grounds as the other two commissioners.
Next, item 773, Limelight Lounge and Restaurant, Inc.
New on-premises liquor license. They took an unfortunate name of a place Gary used to hang out regularly, I'm sure, back in the 80s. New Queens on-premises. The landlord had a license revoked in 2008 and gave a loan to the current applicant for $30,000. The landlord says he's a friend of the applicant. This is a restaurant with 4 employees, 2 security guards, principal to manage. She wants DJ, karaoke, jukebox, and live music, acoustic only. No dancing. She has no experience. The prior license here was revoked. After that, we canceled the previous license in 2016, and that licensee is the landlord. The menu submitted is what I would deem insufficient for a restaurant. Do you disagree, Adam?
I do not disagree.
Okay.
Commissioner Fan?
Yeah, so there is no experience. This applicant has no experience. There's no financial investment. It's a full-on loan from the landlord, and so I am not convinced by the application. I think everything is kind of scratching the surface. Even the supervision plan is pretty insufficient for someone who has no experience. So I will vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford?
The prior licensee was revoked in 2018. In this case, he's the landlord for the applicant, also the source of all the funds and everything else and all the funding. So makes me kind of concerned about that too. So I'm going to vote to.
Before you vote, just so the record is clear, the license was the revocation was 2008. There's a typo in your paperwork. The cancellation was in 2016, and the cancellation is the landlord who loaned her the money.
The landlord
Okay.
was involved in the premise that was canceled,
Right.
Okay.
and it's not. And
I,
it's
I,
not. Go ahead.
I still have concerns about all of that, so I'm going to vote to deny as well.
Yeah, I didn't think it would change your vote.
Yeah.
I'm going to vote to deny as well. The applicant has no experience. The place obviously has a checkered history. The landlord and the former licensee, who is the former licensee, looks like that he may be involved because, as Commissioner Fan said, he appears to be supplying 100% of the financing for this. And she's pretty much asked for every type of entertainment under the sun, which I don't think is appropriate for a restaurant, certainly a restaurant with this history.
You're right, by the way. The bouncers, when I was the house pro at Chelsea Billiards, which is right there, I used to teach the bouncers how to play pool, and they would, and me and my friends,
Get in line.
get a
Yeah.
free way
What was
to the
that guy's
limelight.
name? One-eyed guy? I had a tax case in there.
Anyway,
All right, the next item is 774.
All right, we digress.
Chairman, how did you pronounce that one?
Isaiah. Oh, you mean the LLC?
Yes.
Shokoa.
Yeah. Jokwa
Okay.
LLC.
Shokoa.
So this is a new tavern wine located in a 7-story apartment building. It's a tavern bar with 3 employees, no security, principal will manage. They want DJ recorded and live, non-amplified live music. They want to hold private events once a month. The place appears to only hold 19 people. It was previously unlicensed. There is significant protest from the community board. They opposed because of the residential character of the neighborhood, then opposed because they wouldn't even meet with CB3. I'm sorry, CB2. Also, there seems to be a strange scenario here where the storage of this premise requires the employees to actually leave the premise through a side door that enters into a hallway of the next door tenant building, and the hallway is presumably used by the tenants to enter their apartments, and that gives them access to the stairs to the basement where they would store their supplies, including the alcohol. Is that accurate, Adam?
Yes, which would also require a warehouse permit to be applied for and approved.
I think,
Well,
Commissioner.
If the alcohol's, yeah.
no, yes.
There's a lot of the opposition indicates that they question the legality of the door itself leading into the tenant building, and also the legality of them entering the tenant building at all, which does appear to me to be a strange situation.
Commissioner Fan.
The applicant is a 3-star Michelin chef. He's made the bold choice of opening the restaurant during COVID, which I want to give him kudos for. I think it's a bold choice and a welcome one. And so I will vote to approve, assuming that the hallway situation gets cleared up and that it gets checked out and that it's all legal and that they properly apply for whatever warehousing license that they would need. And I would approve it until midnight, but no DJs, acoustic jazz live music only with 3 pieces or less, no promoters, no security guards. And I wonder if there's a way to reserve a right to revisit the sound situation, Tom.
I'm not sure what you mean.
I wonder if there's a way to maybe require a sound test or have some kind of protection that the neighbors upstairs, since is a
Well, the only way to do that
seven-story
would be
building with probably sound is going to travel upward, pretty easily here. So maybe we can require soundproofing, like just say require appropriate soundproofing. Is that a possibility?
They've already indicated to the community board that they have no intention of soundproofing. But
Well, we can require it.
Yeah, right. So if we were going to do that, we could make it a requirement. We can make it a condition of approval. If you were going to go with the soundproofing, I was going to say that anything other than that is difficult for us to enforce because then we'd have to put standards on what that was going to be.
Even that, we would have to put some requirement of what constituted appropriate.
Appropriate, right? Which makes it problematic for us not having experience in that field.
I understand, but then I would just say require. I don't know. Should I require a sound report and then for them to execute those suggestions? Maybe that's the best way.
So you would like a professional sound engineer to conduct a report, have them submit that report to us as proof, and then them adhere to whatever the sound report suggested they do?
Yes.
Who would be getting the sound report?
The applicant.
But I mean, the applicant, would the applicant pick then who does the?
The applicant would be hiring a sound company like Acoustic Log or any other sound professional.
So you want them to obtain the sound report and follow all the recommendations in that report?
Yes.
Commissioner Ford?
Am I understanding this right, that this place only holds 19 people?
That's correct.
A 700 square foot of space with 19 people, which has plans to have live music, DJ, and private parties.
And it's spaced
I
out-
think it's 19 seats. The capacity is actually 70 people.
But the letter email from Michelle Landers. Well, she's a resident who lives there. They haven't been back to the community court yet, have they?
no, there's a letter. There's a letter from June of this year that says they never showed up.
I'm going to vote to deny.
What do you say?
Vote to deny.
Kevin Bradley?
I'm going to vote to deny as well. I get he's a Michelin-starred chef, and I would love to support him, but I don't think that this area, that this space that's never been licensed is actually appropriate for a restaurant, given the need to enter the residential hallway to get to the storage area. Plus, I've been on Sullivan Street, and there's no way any restaurant, no matter how quiet, could not disrupt or be disruptive to that street. But the major concern I have is the entering the tenant building for storage. I don't know whether it's legal or not. I don't think I care. I don't know that I would ever approve that.
Next item 775. Laugh, Live, Love with Liquor and Wine Corp.
This is a Kings County liquor license, or I'm sorry, Kings County package store. It's a reconsideration. We had one of the issues we all brought up when we denied it unanimously was that the applicant appeared to have not invested enough money to pay rent, buy inventory, and do major renovations, which clearly he is doing based on the pictures. The recon indicates that the money is actually coming from the landlord, who happens to be the applicant's mother, and that the renovations are being paid for by her, and that the father, I think, is a carpenter and is working with the son to do the renovations. Other than that, there's nothing new presented. The mother owns the building, and she says she's giving him rent concessions and also doing the renovation.
The other issue, I may have missed, you may have said this already, and if you did, I apologize, that was that she wouldn't have time because she has another business, and her supplemental says that she jointly owns and runs that business with her fiance and therefore would have time.
Correct. That's why she's not on the license. You knew. And her other
No,
business.
she is. She's a
So
sole.
she is on the license.
She's a sole principal.
One of the points on referenced in the denial of the application was the concern about her availability to manage.
Right.
And she's offered the explanation that her other business is jointly owned and run with her fiance,
Correct.
who would primarily be responsible for that business while she worked on this.
Right, and that business has nothing to do with alcohol.
Correct. Commercial cleaning.
Okay.
All right then, Commissioner Pham.
I feel better about this application after seeing the supplemental materials. Again, as the chairman says all the time, this is something that you could have submitted ahead of time and not after the fact, and so that people are not up, and that just want the practitioners to be aware to just provide the information before the first vote would be most helpful. And with that, I vote to approve.
I just missed everything you had said except you vote to approve. Can you try to just re-summarize that?
Oh, I just said please give us the information before the first vote and not ask for reconsideration and then supplement the information.
Okay.
Commissioner Ford.
Whatever you did there made it a lot clearer to understand you, Commissioner Pan. I vote to. I guess we should also vote to reconsider. Correct?
Well, that's the first step is voting to reconsider the application. Then, if you want to make a decision on the application itself.
So I'm assuming, Commissioner Pham, you're voting to reconsider and then approve the application.
Yes.
Commissioner Ford.
So I vote to reconsider and approve as well. I mean, Mom is obviously helping out Christina and her fiance. She's reduced the expenses and by making many of the improvements herself to minimize their cost. It looks like a great location on the corner as it is, so I vote to approve.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll vote to reconsider and vote to approve. The first store did not respond to a request for, when I say the first store, the closest store did not respond to a request for sales figures. The next two stores, both of which are 0.4 miles away, have shown significant increases in sales over a 4-year period. And the fourth closest store, which is half a mile away, has also shown an increase, although not as significant, but still a steady increase. And my main concern was the money invested. I didn't realize the family owned the building, which, as Commissioner Pham said, it would have been helpful if we got that up front. But I'll vote to approve because I do see public convenience and advantage now.
Next item, 776, Matt's Place, LLC.
This is a conditional no contest for 2 charges: failure to comply with local regulations and a failure to supervise. The offer is $5,000.
For the record, this is a place that we did a summary suspension on.
Are these COVID related?
COVID related and a summary suspension. Although this was the place where the owner stated that he did not believe anyone in the county had the COVID virus and that the governor's executive order might be unenforceable.
Well, he clearly has come around.
He's changed his mind.
Commissioner Pham.
Yes, I will accept 5,000.
Commissioner Ford.
I'll accept the 5,000 as well.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll accept.
Next item, 777, Wine Authority, Inc.
This is a liquor store, conditional no contest, 3 charges. One is a purchase from an unauthorized source, Second is a sale for resale to a retail licensee, and third is aiding and abetting, which I'm assuming is aiding and abetting the retail licensee.
Yeah, there's a co-op buying scheme, so the charge is that they were aiding and abetting the other improper purchases.
Aye. Why are we not taking this?
Commissioner Ford?
Why aren't we canceling the license?
This is
I mean, 39 cases of alcohol that were delivered to other licensed premises. I would revoke this in a heartbeat.
I'm in agreement.
yes. I'm not. The fact that we sent this up as a civil penalty does not reflect my view that that's the appropriate discipline. But we sent it up, and it's
To consider, I get
to
it.
consider, and it's up to the board to decide how to proceed.
Okay.
So Commissioner Fan, you're countering with revocation and bond claim?
Yes.
Commissioner Ford?
I'll go revoke and bond as well.
Chairman Bradley?
I'm going to revoke and bond, and just to clarify, this is in Suffolk County. We gave this licensee this. I'm assuming that we granted this application, or maybe they purchased the license in September of 2017. Literally 3 years later, not even 3 years later, we go in and find out that he's got 39 cases of alcohol that he's co-op by with other people in an area where it's probably the hardest place to get a liquor store, if not the hardest, or next to Nassau County, anywhere in the state. So I'm at revoke and bond too.
Right. So that's a counter. This was a
Yes.
sale.
Yep.
Next item.
Yes, and it's in the notes that he says he does not recall who initiated the trading and that no one was in charge. I find it extremely hard to believe that you can have this large-scale organized crime with no one in charge and no one remembers how it started. So that's shocking to me.
Next item, 778, ME Liquors Corp.
This is a Kings County liquor store, or new package store, I should say. 1,282 square feet, 960 square feet retail, according to the diagram. 4 stores within 0.9 miles. 3 of the 4 closest stores are bulletproof. The principal is to hire a manager with 2 employees. The principal will not leave job and will not leave his current job and will devote 5 hours a day to the store. Is this bulletproof? This store will not be bulletproof. This place has never been licensed before. There are 2 protests.
And this was held over due to the 200-foot measurement that Commissioner Fan had requested. So it's been confirmed that it's just shy of 800 feet away from the Fresh Creek School. And the proposed location of the liquor store and the school are actually on 2 different streets. So the 200-foot law would not apply here.
The closest store we just opened in May of 2018. So they did not respond to our. Oh, they did respond. They have half a year in 2018 and all of 2019 sales info. That's about it.
All right then, Commissioner Fan.
Yes, I will vote to approve.
Commissioner Ford.
No, looking at the map, the closest store that we approved, Top Shelf at 923 East 107th Street. It is only a half a mile away, but it's like a whole another area. It's past some other housing developments, housing projects, so forth. So I think that this particular location serves public convenience and so I vote to approve.
Chairman Bradley.
I'm going to vote to approve. 3 of the 4 closest are bulletproof, even though we did just put the closest store in there, which is Top Shelf, which is the only not bulletproof one. It is a half a mile away, and this applicant indicates he's going to be non-bulletproof, which I think that we do try to promote non-bulletproof stores because the customer experience itself promotes public convenience and advantage.
All right, next item, 779, Cafe Tacuba of Yonkers, Inc.
This is a Westchester County on-premises application. It's a restaurant with live music, DJ, jukebox, karaoke, and dancing. The applicant will manage with 3 employees, 2 security guards. The place holds 100 people. An applicant corporation held this license before and was canceled in November of 2019, and it appears this applicant bought that corporation. Am I right with that, Adam?
That's correct.
Why would he do that? Then all the history goes with this corporation, correct?
Correct.
The license was canceled not on a. I don't think it was.
No, the license looks like it was canceled to augment, to make the sale go through.
Right.
But he still gets the history. But
Right.
he also is, as a previous applicant in another application, he is going to run a restaurant with 3 employees and 100 people. I don't see how that's going to happen. Seems to have come off the music at the community board. Now just wants live and recorded.
Yeah, and the dancing.
Except he says now the employees are going to dance.
No. He says
Look at the application.
No,
there's
there's a supplemental that was sent by his. So it now says no recorded music. There will be live music. There will be DJs. There'll be karaoke. No jukebox.
no one's
dancing, no patrons.
No dancing. So there'll be live music and DJs and karaoke.
And no dancing, period.
Correct.
Well, this seems to be changing with the weather.
So with the history at this location that heavily involved noise, I am very hesitant to approve this application with the proposed method of operation. But if I just issue it with, for just a restaurant, I'm not sure if that's what he wants. So. I would be comfortable approving to 1 a.m. with no recorded music, with just recorded music.
Okay, so Commissioner Fan is voting to approve 1 a.m. closing, recorded music only. Commissioner Ford.
I'm looking at the supplemental letter that he supplied, answering our questions, because this was put over so we could get such answers.
Yeah.
And he's asked for Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday 4 to 2 a.m., Wednesday closed, Friday and Saturday till 3, Sunday just till 1. So, Commissioner Fan, you're just saying 1 o'clock across the board.
Yes. And he can come back for more hours later.
Are we satisfied that Alfonso Rios has no interest in this place any longer? The applicant says he's gone.
We have no other reason to believe that they're still connected.
Okay, all right. So I will vote to approve based on 1 a.m. across the board too, and close on Wednesdays, as I say.
And recorded music only?
Yes.
Chairman Bradley.
So the only entertainment's recorded music.
Recorded music 1 a.m.
No dancing, no promoters.
Nothing. Right.
Yeah, I'll go along.
Okay.
So that means, and make clear, no DJs, because he wants DJs, and as we know, people misunderstand recorded music to mean DJs.
Next item is 780 B&A Steakhouse LLC.
This is a new on-premises liquor that was held over. Restaurant with 12 to 14 employees, recorded music only, no security, no dancing. 270 max occupancy. They have seats for 102 and 15 bar seats. So there's going to be, give or take, 100 people in this place. The principals have no experience in management. One principal has worked at this location for a long time. The current licensee has adverse history. Some of it occurred while the applicant work there.
Commissioner Fan?
I believe we held this over so that applicant's counsel could submit further information.
Yes.
There was a
we did.
request to hold this over, but am I accurate in saying that information was not actually submitted? Because I don't see any supplemental materials for this matter.
We did not receive any supplemental material for this item.
All right. And then I will vote to deny.
Commissioner Ford?
Same here. I vote to deny as well.
Chairman Brett?
I was going to vote to approve, but I get the
Are
reason.
you still going to?
Yes.
Next item, KTM Wine and Liquor Corp.
This is a Bronx liquor store. 2 charges. Oh, I'm sorry, 1 charge. There were 2 charges. It was after hearing. The first charge was availing. What happened here? Gary, did I do something here?
No. What happened was.
We sustained charge 1, dismissed charge 2.
And here's what.
So what
And
happened?
I got it. So this came on. He wanted to submit a controversion. We ruled on it. Did not have the controversion, even though we should have had it.
Well, if he sent it to the third bureau, not to Secretary's office.
Correct, but it was in our office.
Yes.
And therefore, he asked it to be put back on with his controversion.
So now it is.
So now it is.
Right, so it's
We had already sustained 1, which was availing, and we had dismissed 2, which I don't even remember what the charge 2 was. But that was purchased from an unauthorized source, and the ALJ had dismissed that. So the only charge we're ruling on is availing.
Correct.
And I'm at cancel and bond after considering the controversial letter.
So you're still sustaining the availing charge?
Yes, sustaining the availing charge. The penalty is cancel and bond.
Commissioner Ford?
I'm sustaining it. Well, the controversial letter really wasn't anything new or different as far as I'm concerned, so I'm still at cancel.
Chairman Bradley?
The controversial letter tries to convince us that Mr. Abraham was not a secret owner of the store, yet he fails, and he brings out certain points to try to back that up, but he fails to point out that the employees themselves told our investigators that Abraham had owned the store for 15 years. Southern Wine and Spirits indicated that Abraham is the contact for the store. All checks also come from him. He's on a lease for the store. He supervises employees, and he also admits that he shares alcohol with his own store on purchases. I don't think that this is even close. So I'm at cancel and bond.
Okay, the next item, 782, El Lamino Sports Bar, Inc.
This is a Suffolk on-premises license that we denied. It's a request for reconsideration. They now are offering to drop the DJ and the dancing, and we'll have a full-time manager as well. There's a bad history here and a cancellation for a police focal point. Was this unanimous, Danon?
I believe it was. But let me just check.
The decision should be in there.
It is. And
Yes, it was.
So the attorney, Adam, you want to clear this up? The attorney apparently contacted you or licensing to ask that this be converted from a tavern to a restaurant. And talked to counsel's office, and they correctly informed him that would require a new application because it's
A class change.
a class change of the license.
right, and then instead of following through to change it to a restaurant, they've just asked for reconsideration with a couple of the entertainment items removed, but still as a tavern, which seemed like a disconnect.
Yeah. Although the menu, I think, is sufficient. Oh, actually, no, it isn't. I'm sorry.
All right then, Commissioner Fan, on the reconsideration.
I vote to deny reconsideration.
Commissioner Ford.
I vote to deny as well. They need to reapply as a restaurant and straighten this out.
Chairman Bradley.
I'm going to vote to deny. I don't see anything new here. I mean, you came in with the method of operation that you wanted, and now because we denied it, you're coming and trying to change it on a reconsideration. I don't find that new information. Dropping the music doesn't really change my view of the place. So I'm going to vote to deny.
All right, the next item, 783 Yummy Food Center, Cork.
This is a New York County grocery store beer license. There's a big disciplinary here, 6 sales to minors over a shorter period of time, and a cancellation. There does not appear to be a connection between the licensee and the prior, or the applicant and the prior licensee.
And it looks like he's been running the place for a year.
I shouldn't say that the sales to minor were not over a short period of time. They were over a long 10-year period. But there are 5. I'm sorry, 5. Oh, no, 6. Yep.
6 since 2004.
Commissioner Fan.
Yeah. Again, this is the what the hell pile. I'm going to vote to approve.
Commissioner Ford.
You all get one of those a meeting, so I'm going to vote to approve as well.
Chairman Bradley.
I'll vote to approve.
Next item, 784 Easy Life Restaurant and Lounge, Inc.
This is a new Bronx on-premises license. The applicant's 2019 application for this place was denied for cause. The previous license was canceled, and the one before that was revoked with a significant adverse history in both of them. The rep says the hours would be 10 to 12:30 Wednesday, or during the week, and 10 to 2 a.m. during the weekend. The applicant is quitting his job to devote all his time to this. It's a restaurant with 6 employees, principal to manage, 3 security guards, recorded DJs and karaoke, and live music and dancing. He wants everything.
And just to be clear, there is a protest from CB12 in the Bronx.
Yes. I think the rep indicates that the PD and the CB. Let me see what they say.
So can I just clarify, there is a letter of objection from the community board? Is that right?
Not tacky.
On the 2019 denial.
On the
On the
prior,
previous denial.
The application was denied before because the location had a problem history and the applicant had no experience and was seeking, it looked to do something similar. And the community board opposed in 2019.
However, that's what I was talking about. So the community board opposed the previous application. Now the rep indicates that he has gained the community board support as well as the police department support.
However, we don't have any.
We don't have anything from either party indicating that that's the case. And I find it hard to believe that if they had flipped, they would not contact us.
So can we hold this over to confirm the board and the community board support?
Yeah.
It's a possibility. I mean, normally the applicant should be providing this information to us as part of their
I don't know that it would have changed my mind anyway. I was going to vote to deny. So. But if you need to, we can.
Okay.
But there's no guarantee there's no guarantee they're going to reply.
Are we holding it over for the applicant to get this to us?
I get it.
or-
Yes. We're not getting it.
Right.
No, the applicant.
We're holding over the applicant to submit the documentation to support what they're showing.
Yeah, and it needs to be written documentation, one from the community board, one from the police department. Since she's already, or he, what's the rep? She has already indicated in her letter that this support already exists. It should be very easy to get it in writing.
All right. So over to 7:15. Commissioner Ford, are you okay with that?
Yes.
Chairman Bradley?
Yes, and she does indicate that we can reach out to Ursula Green from the community board to confirm their support. We don't. Yeah, to make that clear, we don't do that.
Secretary's office will be reaching out to the attorney
Yeah.
to remind her her obligations.
Yeah, that's. And then we'll just put that on to make phone calls to confirm community board support on the list of your obligations going forward.
Well, actually, as we were discussing before the meeting, the public interest questionnaire that we're using now for the 500-foot hearings requires the applicants to submit that material. It's up to them. If they're not submitting it, it's on them. Next item, 785, Tiamo Saba Convenience Court.
This is a conditional no contest of 7 charges, one of which is availing, and another one is a consumption on, or gambling and consumption on premises.
It's a CNC, cancel and bond.
Yeah,
CNC
cancel and
auction.
bond.
I'll accept cancel and bond.
Commissioner Ford.
Cancel bond accept.
Chairman Bradley.
Alex.
Next item, 786, RHNY F&B LLC.
So, Adam, do you want to explain why this is here? As far as this is a temporary application for use of outdoor seating. Many in New York City, many are not required to come here, but Adam is going to explain why this one and several others may be on the board's agenda over the coming weeks.
So, as for anybody watching these meetings knows, there are both community board stipulations and full board stipulations put on certain licensing matters. Anything that the board members decided as a full board stipulation of which the members opposed, if you are seeking to amend a licensing application regarding those stipulations, since their stipulations were put on by the members, they can only be approved or rescinded by the members. So even though we have guidance out there for temporary alterations over the use of space, if you're operating that space with a full board restriction, those need to come back before the members as a request to do so.
Right. Whether it's for temporary or permanent, it would still have to come back to the board.
That's correct. Temporary or permanent changes to restrictions placed on a license by the members need to be approved by the members if you're wishing or seeking to remove those restrictions.
And so this is a request for a temporary extension of premises for a restaurant on the 5th floor of a furniture store, Restoration Hardware. They're seeking to use an area that we, as a board, limited the use of when they applied. We indicated that they could have some alcohol out there, no service, but the customers of the furniture store could walk out with their drinks, correct?
Excluding food out in there.
And no food.
No food.
And no service whatsoever, right? They had to walk out with. They are now seeking to have the restaurant actually serve 56 customers in a socially distanced manner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 4-top tables, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 2-tops. The hours would be till 11 p.m. 7 days a week. There is a protest from the community board who actively protested this license when it was first came before the board. Not just the outdoor space, but the license itself. There's also several letters from. There are also letters. I shouldn't say several, but there are also letters of support from community members asking us to grant this. So the total seating would be 56 people. The hours would be till 11, and as the community board does object in its entirety. This would be temporary. Just to be clear, I know the city has put out guidance on the temporary extension of premises. That guidance indicates that their extension of premises would last until Labor Day.
September for sidewalks and October.
That is not consistent with our guidance, which is based on an executive order, which is signed by or put in place by the governor. That executive order that grants this extension of premises for alcohol consumption expires on July 7th? 6th. Unless it is extended. We have no information one way or the other whether that will be extended at this time. But should it not be extended, whatever we vote on today would end at that time.
Commissioner Fan.
On a temporary basis, I'm going to vote in the affirmative for 56 people, 11 tables with 6 feet social distancing between the table. I will pick 1031 as the expiration of this temporary arrangement.
So, Commissioner Fan, as I just indicated, that's the city's or guidance saying that it would be till 10, and I believe it's Labor, or maybe it is 1031, whatever the case may be. We're allowing restaurants to do this on a temporary basis based on an executive order that was implemented by the governor. That executive order runs out on July 7th. 6th, I'm sorry, I said it again. So if that executive order expires, these temporary situations all over the state, not just in New York City, would expire with it. Now, that may be extended, but we have no information whether it will be or not. But we can't, as a board, grant that 1031. Well, I guess we could, but
No, you can't.
yeah, because it's part of it's. We could just grant it could be the licensed premise because they have a legal right to it. But
No,
They'd have to file an
They would-
alteration.
oh yeah, they'd have to file an alteration. Yes, we're allowing them to do it now without a permanent alteration.
and without notice, have a 30-day notice and everything else. Then
Yeah, so do you understand what I'm trying to say that I wasn't that clear about?
Yes, I heard you. I think that there is public convenience and there is public interest in allowing this space to serve as a place for people to gather that's on a rooftop so that people are not drinking on the streets. The location of the building is far.
I'm not questioning the vote. I'm just saying we can't make it extend until October 31st. It has to be run with the executive order.
Okay, then I will vote until July 6th and wait and see if the executive order gets extended. I just feel like as a matter of practice, though, they're going to scale up and try to hire staff to do this, and then then in the middle of the summer or just July 4th, that's like 2 weeks from now.
I'm not telling you it won't. I'm not telling you it won't be extended. I'm just saying that we don't have the ability to extend it ourselves. It's going to be up to the governor's office or the governor himself. And he has extended a number of these executive orders. Legally, they're only allowed to make the executive orders a certain period of time. That's why July 6th is on it.
Right, but the primary request is not tied to a date, right? So,
What'd she say?
Now, this request is tied to the executive order.
oh, okay, all right. In
Right?
this case,
yes,
then,
The executive order gives the authority. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say that there's a statutory requirement for an alteration application that they have not followed. So we can't grant an alteration application because it would violate the statute. The only way they can make the request as they did is to, based on the executive order, have a temporary alteration. And I believe that the point is, if this were to be granted as a temporary alteration, it just couldn't last longer than the executive order lasted. But you don't have to set a date on it right now. The point is, though, that the current date for the expiration of the executive order is July 6th.
Okay, so can I just vote with the anticipation that it will extend in the event that there is an extension in the executive order. Is that okay?
Just vote and say
Then?
just vote and say that I vote to approve and that it runs concurrent with the executive order. So if it gets extended, then this gets extended.
Okay, so I vote to approve with the timing in concert with the executive order.
Okay.
Commissioner Ford.
Let me ask you something. If they wanted to have sidewalk service in front of their place, would they be allowed that right now?
If they wanted to have there's no restriction from the members over the use of sidewalks out front of their space on ground level. If they wanted to apply for that, the use of that space on municipal property, that would be through the municipal application with the city.
But I believe they have to have a license. Is their ground floor
Yeah,
license?
their whole store's licensed.
Yeah.
Floors 1 through 5.
Yeah.
And this is on the 5th floor, remember.
Yes, I understand, but I'm saying if they wanted to, they are within their rights of the executive order to apply for sidewalk service. Is that correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay, good.
They don't apply. I think they just notify their community board and they can set up the sidewalk.
Correct.
Yes.
They have to, the permits are just being given out by the city. There's no need to apply.
Got it. Okay. All right. Well, they could easily do that as well. So I'm going to vote to approve as well, as long as it's concurrent with the dates of the executive order. Pretty simple.
So let me ask you both this. Are you willing to drop it till 10 p.m., given that the community board has grave concerns about this?
I think that dinner service, 11 is pretty reasonable. I'll go to 10:30, but, people come in at 9 o'clock and want to eat dinner.
All right, so
I don't know.
what about
enjoy themselves.
Okay. What about dropping the number down to 46 rather than 56?
Whatever that's social distancing.
Well, no, I'm not making any judgments on social distancing. I'm making judgments on the community board's concern about noise. And
yes,
obviously, 56 people would be less than. 46 people would be less than 56.
Absolutely, 46 is good with me.
All right, so I'll go with her on the time to 11, but make it 46. I don't care how they set them up, but they obviously have to be socially distant.
All right, so Commissioner Fan, Chairman Bradley, you both voting for 11 p.m. 46 people. Commissioner Ford?
I'll agree to that as well.
Okay.
And they obviously have to be socially distant.
All the other guidelines for on-premise consumption apply.
And this is to run concurrent with the executive order.
And the guidances that from the Department of Health and the State Liquor Authority on outside service, all of that has to be adhered to as well, which includes...
Well, it's part of their licensed premise now, so just as they would normally, nothing changes for that.
Nothing changes, but it's not just that. There's express guide. This is an outdoor service temporary extension, so it's subject to the conditions of the Department of Health and the State Liquor Authority with respect to outside service under the COVID-19 executive order.
All right. The next item is 787 Guangfu Inc.
Didn't we have enough? This is a request for an extension of a conditional approval. They want 6 extra months. They're having trouble getting an inspection due to COVID-19.
I will vote to extend another 6 months, December 3rd, 2020.
Commissioner Ford?
I vote to approve to extend as well.
Chairman Bradley?
I'll vote to approve. 6 months.
Next item
Already.
is 787A. This is a proposed advisory regarding conditional approvals.
You want to explain that, one of you?
Sure. So per the current delegation, those operating on a temporary retail permit are not allowed to request extensions of conditional approvals. We are proposing to the members that those applicants be allowed to request conditional approvals and still be able to operate or have the ability to extend their temporary retail permit to run concurrently with the conditional approval.
And why is this necessary?
We believe this is necessary due to the current health crisis going on. Many state and local agencies are closed or have been closed, making documentation harder to obtain for licensees and applicants. So for that reason, we are seeking to allow them to continue operating on temporary retail permits and the ability to extend their conditional approvals, so we are not taking those privileges away.
Commissioner Fan?
Is there an end date to this, or it's just perpetuity?
We had put the end date to the end of this year, 2020, based on the number of conditional approvals that have been going out and the fact that some state agencies and city municipalities are starting to open and offer their services again. We believe that there's going to be an influx of these kind of requests over the next 2 to 3 months, and we tried building ourselves some time to accommodate that.
I mean, I would make the argument that perhaps we can do this in perpetuity. I think that Commissioner Roberts is the appropriate person to decide on these conditional extensions based on the situation of each application.
So the proposal is that it not come to the members. We're just seeking to temporarily waive the conditions that exist per the delegation. So licensing would be handled on a case-by-case basis if approved by the members here temporarily.
Commissioner Fan, when this was first imposed, and it goes back, the kind of theory for years, is that if you have a temporary permit, you should have all of the requirements to be open and operating. You shouldn't need any time for conditional approval, and that's why this restriction was imposed, not allowing extensions for conditional approvals for anybody who has the temporary permit. But now, but this is a different situation now.
Okay, I got it. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm in the city and I don't have any. I'm low tech over here, so I'm actually reviewing this on the phone. Which gives me an idea that going electronic is going to be difficult for me. But anyway, I'll vote in the affirmative.
Commissioner Ford?
I vote in the affirmative as well. I vote to approve. Makes it easier.
Chairman Brown?
I vote to approve it. Do you not have a laptop? Does she not have a laptop?
We can talk about it.
I do, Chairman. I came into the city to vote yesterday, and I don't have any Wi-Fi in my apartment.
Oh.
So I got to save anything I can save, so my services are suspended. It is.
All right.
Laptop, I'm working on it, sir.
Okay.
All right, Chairman, I have nothing else. You have anything else?
No.
All right, then.